Michaels, and his interview with Chris Van Fleet, um, and about the two attributes that he looks for most in pro wrestlers. So I don't know if you guys had a chance to listen to that, or how much Chris Van Fleet you listened to. But I thought this was a really good interview with Shawn Michaels. He talked about his match with Ric Flair, and he talked about two primary factors he considers when identifying potential top tier professional wrestlers. So I think, and I feel like a lot of people consider Shawn Michaels as one of the greatest in-ring wrestlers of all time.
The GOAT!
He currently serves as WWE's Senior Vice President of Talent Development and Creative, overseeing the creative work of the NXT brand, where where WWE develops, of course, its next generation of stars. And then in an interview with Chris Van Fleet, he talks about some of the qualities he looks for in wrestlers. As one of the top wrestlers of his era, he says the two most important aspects to him, and I'm interested about what you guys think this means, because I don't know if he explained too much what that means. But he says the two most important aspects to him are timing and feel. So this is his quote. So he says, I think when we talk about feel and timing and feel are probably, in my opinion, the two most important things in this business. You can get by with so much more if you have those two aspects. You can be a little short in athleticism. You can be a little short in psychology. You can be a little short in, I don't know, overall knowledge of the game, so to speak. If you have timing and a real feel, because those are things that I guess charisma plays a part in that. But if you have timing and feel, I feel like the charisma and all the other is going to sort of match that timing and feel, if that makes sense. To me, it didn't really make too much sense until I thought about it a bit more. He says, I know sometimes when I talk about this, I know I don't always make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but that's the level that I'm at. And in that same interview, around the same time, Shawn Michaels was also talking about Cody Rhodes, and he was very complimentary of Cody being the top guy in WWE. So I guess let me throw it out to you guys. Andres, let me know what you think, because I was still trying to like dissect what this means of timing and feel. And he says that's the two most important qualities for a wrestler. What do you think he means by these terms, and how do you feel like it differs from like other aspects of wrestling, like athleticism or psychology?
I mean, I think what he means is like the timing of your character developing into the business and the timing you entered the business, So like you can lack certain abilities in wrestling, but because I don't know, because the universe itself is like taking you in and it's working for what it is, it's like the timing couldn't have been more perfect because hey, you're not that great on the mic, or you're a little bit short in athleticism, as you said, but things just landed just right for you, I guess. But maybe yourself, like there's certain wrestlers who are more athletically better than other wrestlers, but they're top card. They're doing better because they're that guy at that moment. So I think that's what he means. I mean, he even said he's kind of weird what he's saying with how he puts it, but that's just kind of how I dissect it, because I've heard other wrestlers say that like if they didn't come into the business when they did, the timing was just too perfect for them.
Mm-hmm.
They said if they came in any sooner or if they came in any later, they feel like they would not develop into who they became, honestly. So I guess that's what he means. Because a lot of wrestlers have used that terminology too. Like the timing was just perfect for me when I came in.
Yeah. I mean, like when he says like timing and feel, he says it's not if you lack in psychology, but I feel like timing and feel is kind of like a extension of like, I feel like psychology is the umbrella like skill. And I feel like he's referring to like in-ring, like psychology, and timing and feel, I feel like are the core skills that you use if you're good with in-ring psychology. At least that's how I personally interpret it. Because he brought up Cody Rhodes as being good at that, and I think what he means by that, and this is something that Shawn Michaels is good at, is like the timing of like when he kips up, for example. Like it's like when you're selling a move. So like and I think what he means, let me give you an example. let's say he's in a slobber knocker of a match, it's him versus, I don't know, Triple H, and they're in the ring, and it's like 15, 20 minutes in, and then you're kind of sensing the energy of the crowd. Like, let's say Triple H just did his running knee into Shawn Michaels, knocked him over, and he's laying flat on the ground. Now, some people, I think, if you're a little newer to the art of pro wrestling, or what have you, some people might like kip up too soon. And I feel
Yeah.
like Shawn Michaels and other wrestlers like Cody Rhodes, I think I would fit Cody Rhodes under that too. They understand what is the right feel or moment to do that kip up. Like, you sense the energy. Maybe there people are trying to help you get up. The feet are stomping, people are clapping, and then you understand the feel and the timing of, all right, now I'm going to kip up, because that's where I'm going to get the most bang for my buck of the crowd reacting and giving you, that payload or whatever you want to call it. So that's what I think. David, what do you think?
Pretty similar to like how you were saying it. Like I felt like timing is more of a like how do you stretch out your time out there,
Right.
and feel is like your actions that cause a reaction, and
Right.
like how you respond to that.
Right.
Like, oh, like is the crowd dead? Do we have to change something up? Things like that.
Exactly. Feeding,
Yeah.
like feeling, and again, this is why I disagree with Shawn Michaels when he says you can be a little short on psychology. I think that is psychology. I think that's part of the in-ring psychology. Timing and feel are supplements to the overall skill set of psychology. Like
Right.
like Hogan versus The Rock, when they enter, they don't immediately start beating the crap out of each other. Some matches are fit for that, but that's where that feel comes in. They're staring each other down, and then they're looking around and then looking at the crowd. That's the feel and the timing part. Like
Yeah.
that. Ooh, yeah, let's build it up. We're giving them blue balls, or we're waiting to actually start wrestling and beating the crap out of each other. I think that's the timing and feel. But I also think that's psychology. So I disagree with them there. Chris, what do you
I can
think?
agree. You don't disagree with Shawn Michaels, though. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I interpret it a little
Sorry,
differently. I think
speaking
it's
at you.
when I read that, it feels like more like he was talking about like the marketing of that person's character and kind of understanding the moment that the business currently in to get themselves over. So like Cody Rhodes creating the American Nightmare character in that
Mm.
that's kind
specific
of what I
moment.
more meant. Was That's
I
kind of what I was kind of
see.
getting at. Like the timing of everything for you landed, and
Yeah.
now your character is getting moved up, and the crowd is loving it, and so the timing is what I meant usually.
Yeah, like finger on the pulse kind of a thing. So just kind of like understanding how their character is being reacted to and knowing when to
Mhm.
pivot to make sure that that character continues to kind of grow, I think is what I thought he meant. But I mean, it makes sense also from a in-ring perspective. But then that way you can separate psychology or like in-ring psychology, because that's more of just like how the match is being set up versus, feel and timing being more like, okay, well, the crowd's reacting this way. That means I can lean in more into this part of this character or whatever. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I guess like I like of trying to use that as like the example. I guess like it works for someone like Cody Rhodes in terms of timing, but like if you also talked about like new wrestlers and people, and you can't really do timing with someone like that when like you just started. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that applies to like a brand spanking new wrestler. You know what I mean? So I mean, unless you
When
can
you
explain
mean
that to me.
when you mean new, like coming from development new, or coming
Yeah,
from
well,
another
well,
company?
yeah. For a new, like you're in NXT, like you just started in NXT, and he was talking about. I mean, he talked about it like generally, He didn't mean like specifically like established stars. So that's why I'm saying like, how do you think like what you guys used as an explanation for timing and feel. How do you feel like that applies to someone who's just like completely green and is, you know, in NXT developmental? How would timing and feel work for them through your definition? Because like the Cody Rhodes thing makes sense because you could be like, oh, well, he started a company. He knew when to get back to WWE. That could apply for someone who's been in the business for 15 or 20 years. But like someone who's completely green, I just don't know how to apply that definition to someone like that.
It's
Well,
hard
I
to
mean-
say for me, at least, because with NXT, because a lot of people who come through there already developed already in the independents. I mean, look at like Stephanie Becker, where she's at now. She did come through NXT, but she was already like, well,
Yeah, but she's a
established,
rare
you know.
case out of like their majority of their roster because most of them are like NIL kids at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not like 2016, 17 NXT where they were getting the indie darlings before AEW did.
Right.
True. Would Roxana Perez count then? Or no, not even.
She's Ring of Honor.
Roxanne?
Oh,
Perez?
true, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I feel like it's a little tricky if we apply that philosophy to that. And that's why I like when you mentioned Cody Rhodes, I could understand the business part, but I also think Cody Rhodes is also really good at doing, like, Shawn Michaels really good at the emotional, like, selling part. Like the whole, like, that whole Ric Flair Shawn Michaels match at WrestleMania 24 was like a clinic and a example of what timing and feel is in terms of like delivering an emotional like farewell. Like Ric Flair, I mean, like he was crying the whole time during that match. The bell rung and he already started fucking bawling. But you know, like that "I'm sorry, I love you," that Sweet Chin Music stuff. Yeah, I mean the camera shots, the angles, all that, like that was perfect. And I think that it takes a certain kind of person to understand those beats, you know? Because we've seen plenty of matches of people where, like, if your timing is off or it feels like you're phoning it in, or I don't know, you're selling like you're in New Japan or whatever. I think like that style, like what Shawn Michaels is looking for, that's different, you know? And yeah. So let's see. Do I want to ask another question before we roll in? Yeah, so I guess we can finish this off with just like NXT and Shawn Michaels in general. I'll be honest, I don't watch the week to week in NXT. I do catch the clips, but I guess I want to see if you guys have any insight in terms of like Shawn Michaels' role at NXT and like his philosophy in wrestling. And what do you guys think in terms of like his NXT? How do you feel like his approach differs from like a Triple H NXT or like a Dusty Rhodes NXT? How do you feel like these wrestlers are, you know, how do you feel like it's different from like a Triple H NXT or a Dusty Rhodes NXT?
Big
There's a
booty
little more
business.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say
And
that.
that too. But yeah, there's a lot more drama. Like he definitely like I guess for the situations that they're put in, I think that the girls tend to excel just because like their storylines are always very like kind of like what people that age fight about and like little things like that.
Yeah.
So I think he's got a good concept on that. Like when you watch NXT, it kind of does have like just like a campus vibe.
How do you what do you think of Blake Monroe's character so far? I don't know how much you've watched NXT, but do you feel like they've been doing a good job with her character?
I think they're doing just
NXT?
fine.
That's good.
Yeah, because like
See her
she hasn't
succeed.
gotten. She just started like hinting that she can be unhinged. Like she hasn't really had any moments like that yet. So
Yeah.
it's like it's gonna be cool when they see that like she doesn't wrestle like I wouldn't say like pretty much like them. Like you know they're a little slower. Like they have kind of like feet like just showcases of athleticism where it's like Mariah May or Blake Monroe is more of like a strong style, like really brutal type of wrestler.
Here comes the snowman.
And like she's definitely a lot more smash mouth than a lot of them, and it's you wouldn't believe it till you see it, and I think that's cool that they're letting her do it with Jordan Grace for the first time. So like when she shows off like how she really is, it's like okay, she's gonna end up doing it against Jordan Grace.
Yeah,
I feel like this Shawn Michaels NXT. There's a lot of like just stacked stuff, like all the takeovers and all that kind of stuff. They'll just have big stars show up and these crossovers that happen on NXT. So there seems to be a lot of excitement. I should be watching more of it, but yeah, a lot of wrestling during the week.
There's a lot of
on the
wrestling.
CW.
I kind of want to watch NXT more often too, but just with timing and stuff. And what, it's on Wednesdays, Tuesdays?
Tuesdays.
Dynamite
Tuesdays,
on
yeah.
Wednesdays. I think
You know what that means?
the only free day is Thursday, but that's TNA. If you're being really anal about shit, they basically have wrestling every single
And Ring of
day
Honor
of the week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Every day.
Raw Monday, NXT Tuesday, Dynamite Wednesday, TNA Thursday.
You motherfuckers
SmackDown
want wrestling?
Friday.
You fickle fans? You got wrestling every
Collision Sunday.
goddamn day.
Yeah,
Pick your
basically.
shit. Now it's not good enough. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
and that's not even counting New Japan for the people that have New Japan World.
Right.
Right, exactly.
So much. Like to be a fan now is like golden era.
Or like if you follow a lot of indie wrestling, like the stuff on Thriller or IWTV,
Right. GCW.
There's so much.
Freelance, like you can watch Freelance and at
Right,
home.
exactly. Indie wrestling. you have so much to. I wish I had that Sabrina the Teenage Witch meme where she has like 10 different plates of pancakes and she doesn't know which way she's supposed to like eat it. That's basically wrestling fans right now. And you can complain if something's like not as good and creative. Well, you can move to AEW or TNA or whatever. So there's no shortage of wrestling. But let's move on to our